Hey guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to do my 8-month VSG update. But before we get into it, make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And if you like this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. It really does help my channel out. And now let's get into it. So as I mentioned, I am now 8 months post-op for my vertical sleeve gastrectomy or my weight loss surgery, whatever you want to call it. I am 8 months post-op now, and things are going pretty well. From the last update, I'm honestly not sure how much I've lost because I'm making these videos like not on the same day every month. It's kind of hard for me to keep track at this point, but I'm still losing just about 5 pounds a month, between 5 and 6 pounds. I did actually have a pretty big gain or a pretty big loss recently. I was really consistent in losing quite a bit there for about a week or so. So I think I'm up to about 6 pounds for the last month, whereas before I was about 5, but still relatively the same. But my total weight loss right now, I'm sitting at 89 pounds lost since my highest weight. Again, I always like to remind you that I did lose about 17 pounds before I had my surgery. So whatever 89 minus 17 is how much I've lost since I had my surgery back in June of 2019. So again, just like usual, I've just got a few notes here on my phone. There's no particular order. I just kind of write something down as I'm thinking about it, so I'll just kind of go through it as I read it. But the first thing that I have is my collarbones are now finally sticking out. I feel like I have very small, unpronounced collarbones because I feel like people who have had the surgery or just people in general who have lost weight have all seen their collarbones a lot sooner than I have, which is fine. It's just how my body's built. And I'm obviously not wearing the best shirt to show you my collarbone today, but let me see if I can kind of show you here. This is me, you know, as I kick my light here, just kind of being as relaxed as I can as I'm trying to pull this down so you can see it. But I think you can see it, and I think you'll see that this one here, my right side, is way more pronounced than my left side if I'm feeling them. And I don't think I ever totally noticed this when I was heavier or any time in my life, because I have of course been this way before. This side sticks out so much more than this side. Like this side, I think it's gonna be non-existent. I don't think, even if I get down to like 120 pounds, you will not be able to see this collarbone sticking out unless I'm like popping it like that, because there you can kind of see it, but really you can't see it hardly at all compared to this side, and I can feel how much more this side pops out. It's kind of weird, but I was thinking about it, and I always try to overanalyze things, or I don't try to overanalyze things, that's just how I am. Whenever I'm like posing in pictures, and if you follow me on Instagram and you look through my feed, you'll notice this, I always stand like this, like with my left side like back to the camera, or like back further from the camera than my right side. It's just how I've always kind of posed. It's just what feels most natural to me. And I don't know, maybe the way that my collarbone is kind of positioned and the way that that is, like, maybe just kind of lends myself to just being more comfortable that way. Just a completely random theory as to why I pose that way, and you know, trying to connect the two. I don't know, who knows really why I, you know, decide to pose like this as opposed to this, because this just does not feel natural to me at all. I feel super awkward posing this way, but very natural posing that way. Super weird. Anyways, let's move on, but I thought I would show you my collarbones, which is always super exciting. Everyone always loves having their collarbones stick out. All right, let's go down my list here. All right, so we're going from something really nice and positive to something not so great. I've definitely had a lot more nausea in the last month or so, and I should say I really haven't experienced it too much in the last couple of weeks, but from the time I made my last update to now, there definitely have been a few mornings where I woke up and I did just feel a little bit queasy. Nothing horrible, and by the time I had been up for a couple of hours, I really did feel okay. But there was one afternoon, and you guys know I have been eating a Quest bar every single day now, basically since Christmas. I've been doing that for a really long time, and one day, after I had my usual afternoon Quest bar, it was usually about 2:30, right after I had a dumping syndrome kind of episode. It wasn't nearly as bad as the first one that I talked about in my 5th or 6th month update, something like that. But it was very strange, and it was very immediate. And I just went to the bathroom and had some very massive diarrhea. I did not throw up or anything. It was just all came out that end, you know what I mean? And it didn't last too long, fortunately, because not long after I eat my Quest bar, I do always have to go and pick my son up from school. So fortunately, I was able to get myself together and get out and get my son on time. But yeah, I just thought that was really strange that it was, you know, after I had a Quest bar, which is something that, like I said, I eat every single day. It only happened once, so I don't know, and it could have been related to something else I ate. It's been, you know, a few weeks since this happened, so I honestly don't remember what I ate, but I eat the same things like over and over and over again, so I can't imagine that I had anything crazy. You know, I'm definitely still following my doctor's plan as far as eating goes. If you did not see my what I eat on vacation video, I will go ahead and pop that up there. That was a lot of fun to make, and I'll talk more about our little mini vacation here later on in the video, but if you want to go see that, I will pop that up there. But I do like typically eat the same kind of things, and typically I'm still eating just about 1,000 calories a day, give or take 100 or so, I'd say, but I do try to stick to right around 1,000 calories a day. That's been working really, really well for me. All my lab work from January was perfectly fine. I am going back to see my doctor again at the end of next month for my 9-month appointment. I don't have a class that day. I'm just going to go see the doctor just for a follow-up. I probably will have some more labs drawn, but I don't have any more classes until my 12-month appointment in June. And then kind of going along with all of the nausea and stuff, and this is definitely TMI, but I feel it's really important to talk about in case this is something that you've experienced, or if you're looking into getting a gastric sleeve, you can know what maybe to expect. So, you know, we're just no holds bar here. I will just talk about it if it's something that happens to me, if it can help somebody. But I have been very gassy lately, very, very gassy lately. It's weird. It's not like the normal kind of gas that I've experienced in the past. And it's not burping. It's all, again, coming out the other end. I really don't burp much anymore, I've noticed. Yeah, I don't even think I thought about that. It just popped into my head. I don't think I really burp anymore. Isn't that weird? If you've had a gastric sleeve, do you burp? I don't think I do. Huh. That is an odd observation and an odd side effect, potential side effect. But like I said, I am very gassy, and it happens just at random times. And I don't think it really has anything to do with what I've eaten. I mean, maybe it does. And of course, I do eat refried beans every single day. Again, my diet is very repetitive, but I eat my refried beans like late at night. And a lot of times my gassiness is like in the morning to the midday. So you wouldn't think that that would be, you know, connected. I mean, but maybe it is. But yeah, and I will say my farts are weird. They're always silent, which is kind of nice because they never make any noise and you never have to feel embarrassed if you're gonna let one go, right? But it's super weird. Like, they never make noise anymore. So yeah, your gas is just really, really weird. And I think I had heard that your like bodily functions change a little bit after you have gastric bypass, not so much with a gastric sleeve, but I definitely had a gastric sleeve and things are definitely different in this past month or so. I've really, really noticed how different things are, and I would assume that they will continue to be for me. Oh, and then I had a little non-scale victory that I wanted to share. I can hold my daughter now when I'm carrying her, and she's almost 3. She'll be 3 in April. I can hold her actually on my hip. So before, whenever I've held my children, I always kind of prop them up on my arm. Like, I have an 8-year-old son too, and I haven't like carried him like that in a very long time, but back when he was little, I would do the same thing. I would kind of rest their butt like on my forearm here, instead of like actually placing them on my hip. It's just kind of, you know, and it's kind of awkward to show you, but I would kind of just keep them like right here. Hopefully you can see as I bang into the wall here, you know, kind of more like this, as opposed to like actually having them straddle my hip. And now I've been having my daughter, who like I said is almost 3, like actually straddle my hip. And I didn't even really kind of consciously start doing that, but I noticed it, and I think I had been doing it for a while after I had noticed it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never held one of my children like that before. And I think it's because I'm just so much smaller. It's so much more comfortable for me to put them there, and I feel like it's more comfortable for them because their legs aren't having to be spread apart quite so much to like fit there. So I just thought that was kind of worth noting. If you have young children as well and you don't carry your children like literally on your hip, you might be able to after you lose weight, because it was just kind of a cool little thing that I noticed. And another thing that I've noticed, and I should have probably brought it down here, but I didn't, but my wedding ring now is actually too big for me, which in and of itself doesn't sound like it would be like that mind-blowing, because obviously I've lost weight. I'm gonna lose weight everywhere, including my hands, which I definitely have. But last year, right around this time, I think it was like the early to mid-March of last year, I ended up breaking my ring finger, Fortunately, I was actually not wearing my real wedding ring that day. If you guys have been watching me and following me on Instagram for any number of years, you know I hardly ever wear my wedding ring. I actually have a very nice wedding ring, but I don't like to wear it. So I don't wear it that often. If I'm going out with my husband, or sometimes if I'm just dressing up a little bit nicer, I will throw it on, but I really physically cannot do that anymore. But anyways, last year I broke my finger, and so this finger, even though it's healed, it's not perfect. I opted to not get surgery on it. That just kind of freaked me out, and I was already in a cast and I didn't want to have to elongate the healing process. So just back at the time, I just did not want to go through surgery, and had I done that, then it maybe would have healed a little bit better. But in my day-to-day life, I honestly don't notice that it's not perfect anymore. It really hasn't caused me any issues. If you see here, like this is maybe kind of an awkward angle, but that's the best way to show you that here's my ring finger. It will not go down all the way. Is that in focus? There you go. So you can see it's a little wonky. It will not go down all the way. And if I try to push it, it does hurt. But that's really the only issue that I have. But my finger down here is, especially because that's where I broke it, was this bone right in here. It's bigger. You can tell that there, where it like kind of reformed and, created new growth there to fix itself. It just made my finger bigger. So there's like a little bit of a bump there. So I honestly, when I first got my surgery done, I was like, there's no way that my ring will ever fit me. And I should say though that I was able to wear my ring. I've never gotten it resized since I got them soldered together before we got married. So I could wear it. Last year before I broke my finger, it was just tight, but I could wear it. But just part of me thought that after I broke my finger and my finger feels huge, that it would just never fit, or I would have to be like 110 pounds for it to fit back on my finger. But it started fitting actually not that long ago. And it is a thick ring too, I should say. It's 3 rings soldered together. So it's not just like a wedding band, like a thin wedding band. It's 3 rings together, so it's quite thick. And it's too big for me now, so I just physically cannot wear it. So I was kind of like, my mind was kind of blown when it, like it's basically almost like falling off if I put my hand like that. So I don't know if I'm going to get it resized. Like, I think if I were to get it resized, I'm going to wait a little bit to do that, just to kind of see where I end up in the long term as far as my weight loss goes. I don't know. I also wouldn't mind just getting like a fake set. They have some really pretty fake sets that you can buy now that are like sterling silver and cubic zirconia, and they look really, really nice, at least from the pictures on the website. So to my husband, if you're watching this, I'm probably a size 5.5. And maybe a 6, because I probably would have been a 5.5 had I not broken my finger. So maybe a size 6 now. And I like pear shapes. So yeah. And then I did want to touch on our little mini vacation that we went on. We went up to Great Wolf Lodge up in Gurnee, Illinois for a couple of days earlier this month. It was so much fun. We had never been there before, and Santa actually booked us a trip. So we had been anxiously awaiting our trip for a couple of months now, and we had such a fun time. And in case you're not familiar with Great Wolf Lodge, it's this big, huge indoor water park, and of course there's a hotel there and a whole bunch of different activities, but the main thing is this big, huge indoor water park that they have. So of course you have to wear a bathing suit, and I gotta be honest, there is no way I would have gone to Great Wolf Lodge last year. I just would not have, even if I was in like a big, huge, cover me from, head to toe, like scuba suit, and I wore that there. I just would not have felt comfortable. I know myself, there's no way Santa would have booked that trip for us last year. But I'm so happy to say that I do not have those same fears and just anxieties like ripping apart my brain about my body that I did last year. I was able to go and completely enjoyed myself, and I wore a bikini actually. I will go ahead and insert a picture. I also posted it on my Instagram if you follow me over there, but I wore this like 2-piece like bikini thing, and originally I was looking to get a 1-piece, but because I'm so top heavy, I just figured a 2-piece would be easier for me to find something that fit. And I'll link to my swimsuit that I bought down below. I really ended up liking it. It was very supportive. Both pieces are just from Target, and the top actually is sized like a bra size, which was perfect for me. That's exactly what I was looking for. And I was in a 38 double D, in case you're wondering about the size, and that fit me really, really well. It's a string tie in the back, so there is definitely a little bit of give. I probably could have gone down to a 36, but the 38 worked just fine. And I walked around in that thing for 3 days straight, and I had no problems. I was not self-conscious, even though you can see some of my stretch marks peeking up over the top of my bikini bottom. I really honestly didn't care. I felt totally fine and totally comfortable wearing that. Yeah, so that was a really huge victory for me. You know, it felt really empowering just being able to be there and wear that and not like try and cover myself up and hide all day, because I know that's what I would have done before. So that felt really amazing. And then another thing that I did while we were there was the ropes course. I talked about that on my Instagram as well. My son and I did it together. It was so exhilarating. It definitely gets your adrenaline going, your heart pumping. And I think the weight limit was like 300 pounds, and I was never 300 pounds. So I would have always been able to qualify to be able to do it, but I just know myself, and when I was as big as I was, there's no way that I would have wanted to do it. I just always felt very awkward and just like not very light on my feet, as I talked about in my Instagram post about it. So there's no way that I would have done it, even though it looked really fun and really cool. I just would not have had the confidence to do it. And because of weight loss surgery, I did have the confidence to do it. And me and my son rocked it. It was so exhilarating. Like I said, it was so much fun. I'm so glad that I have that memory of me and him doing that together. It was amazing. It was so cool. And then I think the last thing that I wanted to touch on is my periods. I've been talking about those in all of my videos because they've just been so wonky. And last month, if you recall, I got that new medication from my OB. It's called tranexamic acid or something like that. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but it's a blood clotting medication that you're supposed to take starting the first day of your period. And you can take it 3 times a day for 5 days. So you take a lot of pills to try and slow your period down. And I remember last month I took it, I think I only ended up taking it 1 day, because it says up to 5 days. You don't have to take it for the full 5 days if you don't want to. It's just you can only take it for a maximum of 5 days. So last month I just tried it out 1 day to see kind of what would happen with it. And I do feel like it made a difference. I definitely do. And then when we were on vacation up at Great Wolf Lodge, I brought them with me because when we were getting ready to go, I was kind of in that weird, awkward, like middle of my period phase where I was actually not bleeding. Like if you remember, my periods are about 2 weeks long, maybe even a little bit longer. And the first week or first 5 or 6 days is very, very light. Then it goes away and then it comes back very heavy for another week. So I was kind of in that weird mid phase. So I brought those pills with me because I really didn't want to have to deal with all of that at a water park, if you know what I mean. So I think I took them the last 2 days we were there, not the first day. We were only there for 3 days, but I did not take them the first day. I did take them the second 2 days, and I do feel like it made a difference, but I did not take them the day after we left. I just wanted to kind of see what would happen if I didn't take them, and my period did get very heavy. So I'm very curious to see if I were to have taken it like the full 5 days, if it would like then come back heavier after that, like, or if it would just taper off. You know what I'm saying? Like if it would, is it just kind of delaying my period and like as soon as I stop taking it, it'll just come on really heavy, or is it like really actually getting rid of the heavy flow? I don't know. And I hope it would be just getting rid of it, but I think maybe next month then I will try and take it for the full 5 days just to kind of see how that helps me. Hopefully it does a good job and gets rid of the heavy flow altogether. That would be amazing. But I honestly don't have high hopes because this period is just, oh, it's just driving me crazy. I really just kind of want to just rip my uterus out so I don't even have to deal with it anymore. It's really useless for me. I don't plan on having any more children. So yeah, I don't know. But I definitely did want to talk to you guys about that again. And let me know if you've ever tried tranexamic acid or whatever it's called. Let me know how that has worked for you, and if you have any tips and tricks on like when to take it and like what day to start taking it, let me know all about it. All right, so I think that's pretty much everything that I needed to update on. Oh, if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them down in the comments below or over on my Instagram. I do plan on doing a Q&A video coming up. I think that would be kind of fun. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I will try to get to them in a future Q&A video. You can also DM me over on my Instagram. Just leave them in a comment, reply to a story, whatever you want to do. Feel free to leave me a question, comment, something, I don't know, and I will try to respond to it in a future Q&A video. But like I said, I think that's everything for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I truly appreciate it. Go ahead and follow me over on my Instagram. That is also linked down below, so you can go follow me over there. I post usually about 2 to 3 times a week. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel again so you don't miss any of my uploads. If you like this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!